Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This video was shot in somewhere around the beginning of July where hubby and I we went on a trip to Poitiers during the long weekend. Poitiers is basically a city in the west part of France. Okay, the reason why we went there was not for the city, even though it's a historical city with medieval buildings and such. But the reason why we visited Poitiers for 2 nights was because we were going to visit Futuroscope, which is a theme park that's based on technology, science, and innovation, kind of like Epcot Center, according to a friend of mine. I've never been to Epcot Center. So the rides and the attractions there were mainly focused on the themes like what I mentioned, technology and science. So overall, I would say the park, I would give it a 6.5 or 6.8 over 10. For people that has been to like Universal Studios or the international parks like Disneyland, I think Futuroscope would be a little disappointing, and also considering that it's a pretty dated park. I mean, it's been around for a while. I believe the time when it opened, it was at its peak, you know, considering the rides that it offered and all. But they do constantly upgrade the park, add new rides to it. And the latest ride that they added is the Mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, which was quite interesting. It was quite thrilling. But like what I said, if you've been to Universal Studios, this would kind of pale in comparison. But nevertheless, we had lots of fun. We spent a good, I think about 7 to 8 hours. We arrived very early, before the park opened, and then we managed to do all the rides that we wanted. There were a couple of, I would say probably only about 3 rides that were rather thrilling. The rest were mainly attractions where you sat on a kind of like movable seat, and then the screen moves, or rather the seat moves but minimal, and then the screen moves, and then it's kind of like 4D, so you experience like maybe like water, wind and stuff like that. So yeah, if you happen to be traveling to the west part of France, Poitiers to be specific, I would recommend visiting Futuroscope. But if not, you can give it a miss. But then again, you know, Happy and I were both theme park lovers, so he wanted to bring me to experience this theme park because he's visited it like many years ago, and he told me actually after this visit, nothing much has changed. I mean, they added new rides. Overall, the park is located on a very large piece of land. So even though the park was pretty crowded, but we never felt the crowds, if you know what I mean, except when we were queuing for the rides. And I think the newest ride, which was the Bermuda Triangle one, that took us about 30 minutes to get to the ride. So it wasn't like crazy queues like Universal Studios. If you guys have ever been to the ones, especially in Japan, where the queues were horrendous, and we visited it back in April this year, and I remembered a couple of the rides. Okay, we had the express pass. I mean, thankfully we bought them, but the queues were going for as long as like up to 3 hours. Yeah, so this park, it was not that bad. I think the longest amount of time we had to wait to ride an attraction was about 30 minutes, and that was decent. Okay, for Futuroscope, it's unlike Universal Studios or Disneyland for that matter. It doesn't have a lot of merchandise stores because, for example, Universal Studios, after each ride or attraction that you've been to, there would be a merchandise store that's specific to that ride. But for Futuroscope, this was one of the very few merchandise store that we saw in the theme park. So we did pick up a couple of small items just for memory's sake. As you can see, in fact, all of the attractions are housed in this giant buildings, which adheres to the theme of the theme park, which is futuristic and technology and science actually. So the park was really huge, lots of open spaces. People were just lying on giant bean bags enjoying the sun, and there's this giant observatory tower which we didn't ride. It basically gives you a panoramic view once you ascend to the top. As we made our way through the park, we passed by this amphitheater, which was the location of the night show, but we didn't stay for it because we arrived at the park at about 9:30 and we spent about 7 hours. So by about like 4 p.m. we were rather pooped. So we decided to call it a day. All the way to the top. Could be. What I like about it is that you don't feel too crowded. Like, even though you can tell the park is pretty crowded as it is, because when you visit the attractions, the queues are quite long. Okay, but it's not as bad as Universal Studios. So the queues, the longest one we did was up to 30 or 35 minutes, and that's pretty bearable actually. I mean, as compared to the Universal ones or the Disney ones in Japan, which is crazy, it's like up to 2 or 3 hours. So I would say this park is worth a visit if you're in the region. Speaking about the sculptures I told you guys earlier, check this out again. You see, it's dotted all over the park. Look at it, there's another one. Check out this. It's the ferrofluid dansant. Cet objet de décor en novembre contient un ferrofluide, une substance qui réagit aux champs magnétiques, aux sons provenant de l'extérieur en prenant différentes formes. Good morning. It's our last day in Poitiers. Just gonna check out the city center. It's a Sunday, so everything is gonna be closed, I guess. But just a nice walk. This is the Pont Neuf, which literally means new bridge in French. That's hubby and the 2 kiddos. we have arrived at the city center. As you can see, it's really quiet because it's a Sunday, and as well as it's the summer vacation. So I'm guessing most of the people has left Poitiers for their summer vacation. So the whole city is really quiet. That's the giant cathedral de Saint-Pierre. As I mentioned previously, Poitiers is mainly made up of medieval buildings, so this used to be an entrance, in fact one of the many entrances to an amphitheatre, which was sadly destroyed in the 19th century, as you can see here in the picture. It's time to head back to Paris. Goodbye Poitiers. You have been nice, a little boring, but we came here on a weekend, so that's not your fault. So until maybe next time. Au revoir.
Il y avait quoi sur le périph'? Moi ça roulait très bien sur le périph' là.
Bah ouais, mais t'es dans l'autre sens, c'est bon
Ouais.
pour la...
Ah, dans le sens. Il y a toujours du monde là, les gens sont pas.
Ça signe.
Vas-y.
Un peu peut-être.
Alright, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual please leave your comments down below on how I can improve my video and editing skills, and let me know if you would like to see more of such content, or do you prefer unboxing videos. And do not forget to like and subscribe, and until the next video, see you guys, au revoir.